Here we come to the summary section of the topic elements and process of success. So let's begin with the top two elements or things that contribute to success. Failure and rejection are the two most important instruments for success. First, you have to learn to fail fast, and then learn the lessons from failure. If you're not learning and if you're continuously failing, then that is failure. If you're not failing at all, that is also failure. So it's important that you fail. Accept that gracefully and learn from those failures. Repetition of failure is failure, but making new mistakes all the time is success. So you have to change the perspective on failure. Without failure, you can never become successful. So failure is the most important ingredient. You have to change your perspective on failure. Your definition of failure is not trying. If you're not failing, it means you're not trying something new or big. It's like, you pick up a cricket bat for the first time, you cannot hit it well the first few times. You have to hit it hundreds of times. In fact, you want to master something, you have to hit it 1,000 times or even 10,000 times. So that is the fundamental shift you have to make if you want to become successful. So fail fast, fail early, and continue to learn. Try to do something new. That is point number one. And then remember the 4 E's of success: education, experience, exposure, and experimentation. Education, whether you choose whatever field you choose, you should acquire knowledge. You should get educated about that topic, whether it's a sport, whether it's singing, whether it's you want to become an IAS officer, IPS, entrepreneur, businessman, you want to become a professional. Whatever field you choose, you should get educated about that field. That's number one. Experience. So to remember experience, even if you read 10,000 books on swimming, right? If you don't get into water, you will not know anything. Knowing fully, that's the state you will be. So experience is very much needed. So whatever field you get into, you have to get a bit of experience. Without experience, it's like you've read hundreds of books on honey, but you've not tasted. So in essence, you will never know what honey is unless you taste it. So experience is that. If you taste different types of honeys, that's the exposure. Variation in experience is what exposure is. Like, if you take cricket, wickets in Australia are different. They are bouncy. Wickets in South Africa are different. Wickets in England are different. Wickets in India are different. So if you can play well in Indian subcontinent, it doesn't mean that you can play well in Australia. You have to adjust. You have to get that exposure as well, so that you get those flavors. That's the exposure part. The 4th is experimentation piece. If you do not experiment, if you stick to what you learn, then you become stale. There's end of life for everything, right? So you should be good at certain things. You have to reskill, upskill, and continuously try and add new things into your skill set. If you're not adding new things into your skill set, that skill set will become redundant sooner or later. So remember the 4 E's of empowerment, or you can call it success. Education, read a lot of non-academic books, because academics can only capture a piece of the course or the skill or the subject. Non-academics, people who do research, a lot of research in the market on those specific areas, come up with those books. And it's important to read as many diverse books on a topic as possible to broaden your knowledge base, and then try and put that knowledge to work, which is manifest that knowledge in actions. Action is very much important. Okay, so that's the elements of success. Now coming to the process, it's a very simple process. Read, think, and act. Whatever you do, if you can read, and then in read there's 3 things: reading a lot of books, or the education aspect; reading self, so that you know your strengths and weaknesses and opportunities for learning; right? Reading situations, how things work on the ground. So this constitutes the read. Three reads, remember: reading books, reading self, reading situations. And then think has to be independent, because if you think the same way as what others have thought, you will produce the same results. You will never produce anything new. So something new only produces something new. Think new, but think with calmness. Okay. And then act is diversity. Act new, or do something new. It can be the approach, which can be new. It can be a new thing you do. So read, think, act. This is a very simple and profound process for success, no matter what you do in life. So that's the wrap on the summary of elements of success and process of success. I will not touch upon the other things like hard work, focus, concentration. You keep hearing those things from your teachers, parents, and everyone else. Okay, so that's about it on this topic.